first time ever, the NASCAR Pokemon Cup Series hosts a race in Hawaii at Maui International Raceway for the running of Michelle Semidey's Cheez-It 400. And on the pole today, it is the two newest drivers that came into the season late. Not really in the beginning of the season, but came in the season late, and they both start on the front row. Scott Ferguson, the 34, is on the pole. On the outside is Trevor Harvey, just making his second start of the season. Starting third is the 77 of Makoto Iguchi, and then fourth is the 54 Charles Roberts. Fifth is the 14 Rohit Vedarvu, and sixth is the 99 of Pichu. Seventh is the 60 Gene Sanford, and eighth is the 33 Alan Smith. And in ninth is the 24 Jonathan Thoman, and rounding out the top 10, the 20 of Kyle Beck. We've had only 3 multiple race winners this season. We've had Abby Sachs with 3, Pichu with 2, and Jonathan Thoman with 2, even though it's some reason the standings doesn't show that second win for some odd reason. So, well, I do know Thoman has 2 wins. Will there be another multiple winner to be clinched, or will we have yet another first-time winner of the season here in Maui? We're about to find out as we're going to hear those famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
And isn't it weird that the 2 drivers on the front row started their season this season a lot later than than most of the field? Scott Ferguson replaced Austin Ogo after race 11, and there's Trevor Harvey replacing Stephen Pollard III after race 21. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Hawaii brings here, and see if someone will be hula dancing their way to victory lane. I just had to get that out of my system. So here we go, 24 laps, that's Jeff Gordon's number. By the way, no pun intended. And here we go. Green flag is out and we're underway in Maui, Hawaii. Great start for Scott Ferguson. Makoto Iguchi off to a good start too in second, right off the bat, and she's going for the lead. Here comes Makoto Iguchi. They're bumping and banging, and the caution's out, and look at that, we have a top 5 spin. Scott Ferguson leads to the stripe. We already have our first caution today. Wow. What happened back there? There were 2 wrecks actually, because this is going to be promising to be a wreck fest. Right off the bat, it's going to be a wreck fest. So here's the first caution of the day. There you see Alex Raga, our last winner, try to save it. He did, but then Billy Bishop gets in, and he doesn't. Daniel Day, Luke Walker, Colin McNaught, George Rourke, Malaya Walker get a piece. The 7 gets a piece as well. The 87, the 01, the 6. Wow, they spin out. And then a bigger wreck happens in the front of the field, the top 5. Look at this. Here's Stephen Pollard. Trevor Harvey gets clipped by Charles Roberts, and then he goes for a wild flip. Meanwhile, Ryan Acosta, Rohit Vedarvu, Marshall Rich. Then there's Austin LaPlante. Alex Raga goes for a little bit of a flip. As we see, most of the top 10 were involved in that wreck, in the second wreck on the final turn, and that's going to be a big twist here happens as we see all the top 2 competing for the spot under caution. There you see Harvey, a tough break for him as he gets a hard hit into the wall and goes for a wild ride. Not sure if the others, between Dylan Young and the others, made it out without damage, but well, let's go on board with Trevor Harvey. What a wreck. Wow, what a way to start off here in Hawaii, in Maui, Hawaii. It was just an unusual result here. Dustin Ray, we see pitting. I think he might have had damage from the wreck too. let's see how many drivers, if any, retired. And there are a lot of drivers. A lot of them retired. Luke Walker, Colin McNaught, John McNamara, Charles Roberts, Trevor Harvey, Chris Harley, George Rourke, Austin Geip, Mason Wood, Rohit Vaidarbu, Marshall Rich, Ryan Acosta, and Gene Sanford are done for the day. And by the way, Geip is the points leader, and LaPlante actually just barely made it out, so if he could still survive to get at least a top 20 finish, he might be able to take the points lead away or something, or someone else might be able to. So with Geip wrecking out, being involved in those wrecks, it may be an open opportunity for any of these drivers to close in, if not take the lead away. Daniel Day made it out though, but he will be a lap down and he will be on the bottom on this restart, and the green is out. There's only 29 drivers in the field, 28 of them are on the lead lap. And they aren't playing nice already. Mark Matthews and Billy Bishop spin. Their day's gone from bad to worse. And more spinning between the 18, and I think, yeah, that was the 18 Tim Freilich spinning. And I guess they weren't playing nice at all. And the wreck fest continues. And the line, it's Scott Ferguson again. Wow, Iguchi tried to make the move at the right time, but she couldn't do it because the cautions keep coming out. Wow, tough break for her. She'll have to wait again. Meanwhile, let's see what happened with Tim Freilich. And here you see Tim Freilich gets a piece of Alan Smith heading into that turn. And Freilich tries desperately to save it. He could not, as Jacob Lawler got a little piece of him. I'm not sure if that's going to be a big difference at the end. I'm not really sure, but that looked like a little tap, so I don't know if Lawler's going to be, well, you know. Anyway, and here's the real caution. Mark Matthews and Leah Walker, they sandwich him, and Matthews spins, and Billy Bishop also spins on his own. And both of them already were involved in the first caution, and they're having their days have gone from bad to worse. And they were almost the same drivers that were involved in the last caution were the cause of the second caution. So, wow. Yeah, they couldn't play nice at all. Bishop has finally retired. He's given in. Mark Matthews, Tim Freilich has given in. Daniel Day has not. He'll be on the bottom again of the leader on the restart. Mark Matthews has not given up also, so he's going to be back in 26. That leaves 27 drivers left in the field, and 26 of them are on the lead lap. I apologize for skipping a bit of the green, but nevertheless it's out. And the wreck fest is not over. You see Sarah Yitzonk and Pichu spin. Still not over, folks. Oh, 3-4-1 already with Jonathan Thoman, Makoto Iguchi. They took advantage of that quick, and Thoman leads. Wow, they took advantage of that really quickly on the caution. They knew the caution was going to come out the next lap, and they took it well. Wow. Oh my goodness, I think I might consider this for a return next season, but with less wrecks. And here's what happened. Kyle Sosnowski spins out Yitzonk, and then Yitzonk gets into Pichu on the high side, and both hit the wall very hard. I was surprised that no one else got involved in that wreck. Yeah, it's been tough for them. But how did they take advantage? And there you see Iguchi didn't want to wait, but Jonathan Thoman didn't want to wait either. He came in on the bottom, a surprise move, and took it away from Iguchi, and now Iguchi has to deal with Jonathan Thoman. Seems that Iguchi could never get the lead at the right time. Meanwhile, Pichu is done for the day, but Yitzonk stays in the race. Daniel Day is still a lap down, although there'll be less than 10 to go. I'm not sure if he'll be on the bottom on this restart. And he might not be on the bottom. There'll be 25 cars on the lead lap competing for the win. There'll be 9 to go here at Maui as Jonathan Thoman looks for his 3rd win of the season and looks to become the second driver to achieve that feat this season, joining Abby Sachs as the green flag waves. Uh-oh, 12 is on the contact, no 10, oh man, they're side by side already. Back of the pack, and they're really being aggressive. I guess they were furious at each other from the wrecks they've all had. Here comes Iguchi, and here comes Ferguson again for the lead. 3 wide for the lead, and Iguchi for once has a lead lap. It's not going to be for long though, as Ferguson has the lead away. And we have a spin. There was a spin between Alan Smith and Dylan Young. We got a green flag period in though. 3 wide for third. Here comes Iguchi. Does she have enough to catch the Ferguson? No. And Scott Ferguson leads. Wow. And we had a green flag period of 2 laps finally, but it didn't last long. Obviously, it didn't last too long. And here's what happened. Hope's driver Michelle Semidey clips Alan Smith, and Dylan Young was just caught in the middle of the storm. And he clips the wall as well. And that's a tough break for those 2 drivers. Smith was involved, I think, in the second caution. And, well, this is not what he needed. And Dylan Young, not a really good day for him already, but it's gone from bad to worse. Oh, wow, they're a little slow. I thought they were pitting, but they're not going to pit. Either they already pitted, or they're staying out. I'm not quite sure. Can't even tell. And Smith is going to be a lap down. I apologize for cycling a little bit twice. Semidey, the host driver, despite the wreck, she's in 12th. She might even go away with the top 10. She might get away with the top 10 if she runs really good. If she's on the bottom, she stays on that bottom line, she might get away with the top 10. And guess what? We're going to be having less than 3 to go. I think we're going to be having 3 to go when we hit the stripe. That means the next flag ends the race, and we've had a caution for like every other lap. We've had a green flag, so they got to make their moves now. Scott Ferguson looks to win again for the first time since Season 2. 3 laps to go. The next flag, if it doesn't happen before the white flag, if it happens before the white flag, the race is over. The green is out. 2 wide battle for the second spot. 3 wide. John Radigan on the bottom. Radigan looking to win again for the first time since the 100th race we've had last season. Here comes and here's David Rochester. 2 laps to go. No caution yet. Ferguson still leads it. 2 wide battle for second. Here comes Rochester. Rochester, I think, won already. Looking to add to his multiple win resume. Here comes Jonathan Thoman looking to compete for his 3rd win this season. And I think Iguchi's chances might have just slipped away. Here we go. Nick Parasol's in the top 5. The white flag is out. 1 more to go. And here's a 3 wide battle with Thoman and Rochester. And we're still green. Rochester Thoman just made a move for the lead. And guess what? We've had a caution. And they took it before the white flag. They're not going to race it to the line. Thoman might have just won this race. And he did win this race. Unless if he pits on the final turn. We'll get to the caution later. But first, let's see if Thoman makes it out in Maui. This would be his 3rd win this season. And he'd be the second three-time winner this season, behind Abby Sachs. And if he pits over somewhat, David Rochester might get his 2nd win this season. And he is not going to pit. Let's see if his car will stay in speed. And I think it's safe to say, off the final turn to collect his 3rd win of the season, it's Baltimore Racing's own Jonathan Thoman. And let's get to the caution before we get to the top 10. Let's get to the caution. We do know Kyle Sosnowski spun out on the final lap. And who did you know that same driver that spun Alan Smith out spun the 7? That was Michelle Semidey. Just because it's your host race doesn't mean you have to be too aggressive there. And I'm not sure how she's getting away with spinning other people, especially Sosnowski right there. Sosnowski trying to save it up on the, trying to save his car, but unfortunately he meets with Dylan Young, and Young is just, wow, 2 straight cautions Young was involved in, and yeah, that was a tough break. And the 25 had to even go on the grass to avoid the wreck. And didn't you? And if you hadn't seen, in case you missed it, guess what? Thoman almost spun out. You see the 5. He tried to get a move, and Thoman with the crucial block, which went on to be the race to the caution. And look how close the margin was to the white flag and to the caution flag. Yeah, it was that close. Right there. Thoman gets the win under caution. And he almost got spun by Raddick, and he got a little tap, and he had to move down below to block him. But that was probably the move of the race. That was incredible. Wow. So congrats to Jonathan Thoman getting his 3rd win this season, joining the 3 wins a season club. David Rochester was close, but he'll have to settle for 2nd. Scott Ferguson, a great run for him. I think this is his best finish of the season in 3rd, a podium finish. John Radican will have to settle for 4th. He probably would have been the next driver on the lead if we had one more lap. Makoto Iguchi just beat out Nick Parasols for the top 5 spot. James Shelley will settle for 7th. Zach Robinson is 8th. Jacob Lawler just made it against Devin Whitston for the 9th spot, and that's your top 10 from there. And here's the rest of the field, which all were victims of the wrecks that happened here in Maui. And boy, was it an unexpected turn of events, folks, as Jonathan Thoman collects his 3rd win of the season here at Hawaii, and he'll hula dance his way to victory lane. And you probably have seen it already by now in the point standing, but here's more of it. And Avi Sachs is now your new points leader by 36 over Austin Geip. Geip and Shelley are actually tied for 2nd. However, Geip has the 2nd spot since he had more top 5s than Shelley, even if both had 1 win. Austin LaPlante is 4th. Thoman with his 3rd win, the 3rd win, it's actually supposed to be 3, but that other win in Arizona did not count for some reason, but I do know he won 3 races. Pichu is in 6th, Ethan Hamill's in 7th, Ryan Acosta is 8th, Zach Robinson is 9th, and Dustin Ray moved back up to the top 10. David Rochester, Dylan Young on 21st and 22nd, and the others are on your screen. And there you see the other below if you were curious to know how many points the other replacements actually got. It's just a 2nd top 5 for Scott Ferguson. Wow, and Harvey already has a top 5 in his first start. That's impressive. And George Rourke led the league with 10 DNFs so far. Yikes. And he'll have to step it up quick before he has a season I like to forget. Anyway, the next race is back to the junkyard, McKinley Speedway. For Rohit 14's Arby's Cravin' Chicken 350. I'll be craving for, yeah, it makes me want to crave for chicken now, just by the name of it. Anyway.